Amazing. Congratulations for ending that relationship. Congratulations. This is where the reframe, Vani, the reframe is, and you can even put this in a note, is now that I've ended a toxic relationship, I get to trust my intuition 100% of the time. Meaning that when I hear that inner voice and that inner dialogue, I can really check in with it and give it more attention. That's definitely what's up. Okay, so while more people are showing up, this is going to be a shorter live stream. And again, I'm promoting something that has gotten me out of the abusive relationships, I had so many people in my life. And do you have anybody in your life who you thought once upon a time had a shiny thing, or like you looked up to them, or you put them on a pedestal, or you saw something within them, and then you realized that they weren't exactly how you thought that they were? Have you gotten that before? What's up, James? Nice to see you. Have you experienced that recently, or have you been in circumstances like that recently where you're noticing that people aren't who they appear to be, or you're noticing that other people aren't doing the work that you're doing? We're not here. This is what I'm doing. This is life coach energy. This is accountability energy. So for example, when you say it's sad that people aren't changing, why does it have to be sad? Hey, thank you for that. Like, really, I love you. Nobody's judging you. You're not giving the right answer or the wrong answer. I want to know, for the person who said it's sad that people aren't changing, why does it have to be sad? Because this is emotional intelligence right now. What we're talking about is it's sad that people won't change. And that's not 2024 conversation. How old were you when you told yourself people aren't changing and I'm sad? What intuitively right now is the answer? Because this is an exercise that's in this package and I'm promoting right now that shows that you already have the answers inside of you. You already know. And we're going to get into a space of I know, and I'm not going to play small for knowing. And as I continue to know and grow in my knowing, I'm just going to keep on problem solving, because you've been a problem solving machine your whole entire life. But guess what? You don't have to do it from a place of chaos. All right. So I want to ask you a question because I care about you and I love you and I honor you. Oh, and there's the lie that I'm a good person. Yes, we're all good people. The narcissist thinks they're a good person too. Be authentically yourself. I am a truthful person. You're a good person. I'm a good person. Be a truthful person. Remove the baseline of I'm a good person. You've always been a good person. Good people, a lot of times, don't directly communicate their anger. Good people often don't directly stand up for themselves. Good people attract people who love that you're defining yourself with the neon arrow. This is I'm a good person. Okay, so what's an old habit you're letting go of? Call it out, put it in the comments section. What's an old habit you're letting go of? Let's get into it. This is accountability, and I love you. There's no right or wrong answer. And don't be ashamed or intimidated or, oh no, what about my kids? What about my husband? What about my relationship? What about my job? What about my boss? Like, really, what's an old habit you're letting go of intuitively? People pleasing, hanging out with my high school friends, huge. I was hoping, thank you for that, Lindsay, thank you. Letting go of the habit of bingo bongo. Video games, caring about what other people think about me, letting go of my guilt wound. Yes, validation. What's up, Shirley? I want to stop whacking to your stream. Oh, yes, I love how you're looking for attention, but we're going to get it in healthier ways. So part of that, what Dad's going to do is Dad's going to mute you and block you so you can go get attention by confronting why you need to get in trouble to get attention subconsciously. All right, there we go. Boom. All right. Thank you. All right, so what is your intention? What's your intention? What is your intention? So you're letting go of the chaos. You're letting go of the drama. You're letting go of focusing on battling with other people. Just like that person came into the live stream, knowing that they get attention by trolling because they're angry. They don't know how to process their emotions. They show up here and we don't have time for that. Just like you have narcissistic people, you have emotionally unavailable people. You have people that are insecure and inauthentic and they put all of that onto you. And you're in a space where you don't have time for it because it's not that you're angry. Do you get that? It's not that you're angry. It's that you're aware that there's been invalidation and that there's been injustice in your life. And so you're turning your light back up and you're reclaiming your power. And that's one of my primary focuses of why I'm talking with you right now this evening or today, wherever you are in the world, so that we can get out of the fight or flight. All right. So what is your intention, Sherry? What's your intention? We're not focusing on Vince. What is your intention? Setting boundaries, huge. To honor myself like I desire. Forgiving myself and letting go of my past, huge. What else? Being intentional is so hard for some people. Got you, Vonnie. You did it, though. Hey, what's up, Love Bug? Reclaiming my power. Yes, also in the new package that I'm promoting, there is a 28-minute class. I'm going to give you the science of manifesting. Do you notice how you want to get to some space, or you want to think a certain way or be a certain way, but nobody on the internet, nobody in existence, in your experience, has ever actually taught you when you do that, when you go for it, and when you feel frustrated and let down that you don't know where to go from there, and then you snap back like a rubber band? That's where I come in. I've been on this journey for over a decade. As a certified emotional intelligence life coach, I can actually show you the science of how to change your mood, how to change your response, how to actually enjoy arguments and chaos and mistakes so that you can learn and grow from them. And you are going to start feeling healthier, having more energy, noticing that you get better community, and you are going to get your power back. And if you're ready for that, it's $25. You're getting 5 PDF files. You can set this as a daily reminder on your phone. You can check in and you can have this for the rest of your life. Very excited about this because this is how I got out of all of the chaos. And it's not about being a millionaire. That's the hustle. If you just want to be a mom, if you just want to be an artist, if you want to enjoy your life, let's start there. Let's start with you actually enjoying your life. So what you're going to do is you're going to tap the top link on my bio, and you can do this while you're watching this live stream. So you can tap where you see my picture, tap my link tree, and you're going to be able to see the science of manifesting. You are going to book a date and time. And that's just for you to be accountable. And as soon as you do that, you're instantly going to get an email with 5 PDF files that you're going to have check-ins for the rest of your life. Very excited about this. It's simple. It's organized. All right, let's get back into it. So, question, what's an old habit you're letting go of? It could just be doubting myself, invalidating myself, being around negative people, being ashamed of myself, going to other people looking for advice when I know what I need to do, being codependent, smiling when I'm frustrated, smiling when I'm sad, telling people I'm okay when I'm not. What is your intention? Well, it could be I just want to be loved, or I want to start up a business, or I want to be able to read people better. Excessive apologizing, being able to really intend to directly communicate and to get out of the chaos. I got you, James. Tap, and you can get it while you're watching this live stream. You're still gonna hear the audio. If you're feeling called to it, do it, because I'm telling you right now, don't you notice that there is this fire within you and you feel like you need to talk about it? Don't you notice that right now? Either internally, you're like, why are you doing this? What's going on? What's the strategy? Don't you feel that? Don't you feel that? It's not going away. It's actually a good thing. It's actually a really, really, really good thing. Learning to say no to doing things I don't want to do. Ooh, I love that one. I love that one. Simple. No, thank you. I'm not available. Or not answering. We can send a text message in 5 minutes. Healing that codependency. Huge. All right, so where are you looking to be courageous? Where are you looking to be courageous? What's something courageous you want to do? Vonnie already did it, so we give Vonnie props. What's something courageous? Set more intentions. What's something courageous you want to do? Communication, speaking up, yes. Also, another part of that package, I'm going to give you affirmations and teach you how to actually connect with the affirmations. So, for example, ask yourself internally right now, how good does it feel? Take a breath, slow down, talking to you directly. No right or wrong. So tell that anxiety, go to sleep, I don't believe you. How good does it feel to know that I can communicate on this live stream and nobody's judging me? How good does it feel to know that I can directly communicate with Nikki and he doesn't judge me and he honors me? How good does it feel to know that? What's the answer? a blue fire feeling around your heart, that means that you're going for it and you're lighting yourself up. Amazing. Great. Peaceful. So now what you can do, Love Bug and Little Miss Sunshine and Vani and Dawn and whoever, Xtina, what you can do is you can say, now emotions, show me that feeling in my body. Show me that feeling in my body and see if you can actually feel it. Emotions, show me that feeling in my body. What's up, Crimson? Show me that feeling in my body. Take your time, slow down, and connect with it. Good, good, you feel it. Yes, emojis, yes, you feel it. Yes, communicate, yes. My chest, yes, you feel it. Feel lighter, feel a shift, feel tingles, feel warmth. Don't downplay it. Good. Okay, so that's one example how you can start to shift your consciousness and shift your awareness. I'm teaching you that your brain hears everything. This is a ripple effect. Like now that you're in this space, you're going to notice that you feel lighter and brighter and you feel better. Then you're going to get around other people who don't match this energy. That's where the magic happens, because then you can actually internalize this energy, know where you're going, know it's possible for you. And then when you get around other people who are sad, depressed, frustrated, instead of being irritated by them, that they're being negative, you can actually have an understanding, an inner dialogue, and you can shift your movie. Like you can get into the space of this is a new scene, this is a new plot twist. You breathe, you check in, you actively listen to what they're saying, and in this way you move forward. And can you actually imagine, for those of you, do you have people in your life who do this? Yes or no? Do you have people in your life that you're in an optimistic space and then boom, there's a thunderstorm? Drop an emoji or say yes. What's up, Dylan? Yes. Okay. So what's up, Coach Tim? So what you can do when you get into those spaces is you can actually breathe, slow down, check in, actively listen to their story, to their frustration, to their irritation. And you're going to notice, because the trauma wound is I need to control my success. I need to control where I'm going. I need for this person to validate me. Mind blown emoji if you're actually getting what I'm saying, or heart emoji if you get what I'm actually saying. What I'm saying is you feel good and then you get around other people and you expect for them to match your energy and to match your mood and to match your emotion and to actually be in the same space without even realizing it, Shirley, without even realizing it. So when you actually stop and get into this space, you're going to start listening, because you're not expecting for them to be in the gratitude that you are. You're actually being in the literal conversation of being in the present moment, noticing what emotion you feel, noticing physically where you feel it, noticing your inner dialogue, and you are going to learn. You are going to teach yourself. This package that I'm offering is $25. Like, I know not everybody has that, but I normally charge $125. I'm giving you everything that I have, and this is my life's work, so I'm very excited about this. You are going to develop a muscle, and that muscle is your intuition. So you're going to be around toxic, narcissistic, unavailable people that you normally avoid, somebody who's attractive, somebody who has a shiny thing, and you're going to disrupt your pattern, and you're going to start practicing this. That's going to create a positive ripple in your life. Instead of giving away your battery and giving away your power because somebody simply didn't understand your enthusiasm and your spirit. See what happens when you keep on building it. And also, you're going to stop enabling other people who are energetically just taking all that optimism that you have. I get how exhausting it is, and I get how confusing it is. All right, let's get back into it. What's stopping you from being courageous? Call it out intuitively. What is stopping me from being courageous? What's the fear? Disempower the fear. This is what I do when I notice anxiety. What is stopping me? What is the fear? Bring it to the spotlight. Call it out, because that fear is yours. You own it. It's not your mom's or dad's. It's yours. You're choosing it. Fear of failure, fear of conflict. Okay, so Chantel, let's go into fear of let's go into this one. Fear of failure. The reason why I have started this class, the reason why I'm offering this package deal is because I really want for you to get, one second. Okay, what I want for you to get is you can't prove that you're going to fail. So for those of you that heard my story, that knew that I was in a really nice apartment, $4,000 a month apartment, and then everything went to hell in a handbasket. And then I ended up needing to have a place to live and a job, and I had a week to find a place to live, and I ended up in the projects. Was that backwards or was that forward? Did I fail because I was ending the relationship? Did I fail or was there a plan for me? You tell me. You tell me. Because I want for you to get this for yourself too. Think there was a plan. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when I ended up mopping floors in a bathroom in a nightclub, was that fear? Was that embarrassment? Was that judgment? Or was it a movie? Was there guilt and shame and embarrassment and poverty? Or was it a movie? It was a movie. So do you get how you can put this perspective into your life? Put in the comment section what this would actually do for you. What would this actually accomplish for you if you were able to have this perspective instead of, I hope my relationship likes me. I hope that this person likes me. I hope that people at work respect me. I hope that nobody gossips about me. I hope that I win every single time. I hope that I win in this competition every single time. And get into the space of, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm changing my perception of reality. I am changing my perspective. What would your life look like if when you were crying, you were in a movie and you were healing? When you were angry, that you weren't giving it away or swallowing it, that you were standing up for yourself because you knew that you were the star of the movie and you're tired of other people not respecting you. The unknown, make sure you're following my wife who's moderating and just, she's my wife and she's amazing and we celebrate powerful women in this world. And she's one of the reasons why I'm getting into this conversation, because she is somebody just like you who's hit so many glass ceilings. And because I know that experience, I'm like, I'm not going to focus on myself. I'm going to protect you so that you can be amazing and be powerful and see what happens when you keep on following your intuition. The unknown feels difficult for you to accept because you're still not ready. And what this package is offering, and again, I know not everybody's able to get it, but it's $25, and I'm giving you everything that I know in a clear, concise, organized, strategic way. Okay? What we are learning how to do is be accountable for ourselves, to coach ourselves, to parent ourselves, to say, hey, stop fearing the unknown. Stop letting this person overpower you. What do you think that you're going to pass away? Do you have any, let me ask you this. Do you have any kind of faith at all? Even if you don't even believe in a higher power or kind of, like life is on the line, chips are on the table. Do you have any kind of faith in yourself at all? At all. 0.00001%.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
See, even Echo, even Alexa doesn't even know. Okay? So, and that was weird that just happened, but it's not weird because my energy is powerful just like yours. And you develop this intuition, okay? So, gamble on yourself. Hey, shout out to Hannah for getting this class. I'm telling you, you can get it right now while you're on this live stream with me. You're just going to book a random date and time, and that's going to be your accountability date to see if you're actually doing this or if you're still self-sabotaging. I love you more than you love yourself. Because I love seeing clients and people and humans just win and overcome conflict and chaos. And you are so necessary in this world. And if you have 1 or 2 or 3 people in your life that you're giving away all of your power because you're afraid and you're judging, you can manage your time better. You don't have to just hit the catapult and hit the brakes and just shut everything down. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I don't think you know your story enough. I don't think you know your perspective enough. I would put everything on what I have and what I love that you don't know your power yet. And it doesn't mean being a millionaire and having a blue check on social media and having everybody clap their hands. 350,000 people are following me. There's 200 people here. But these are the greatest people that are meant to be here because the best time zone is divine timing. And because I'm a human being and you're a human being, and social media is social media, and you have emotions, and it doesn't matter about going viral, and it doesn't matter about making money and being successful in other people's eyes. You're going to be 80 years old one day, and you're going to wish that you would hit edit undo. Just like even if you're 20 years old right now, you're like, oh God, my life is over. Stop playing that game. Okay? So you got told and showed that you're the problem. Yes, I want to see some emojis or some yeses on the screen, especially for those of you that are watching behind the scenes and having internal conversations with yourself and just staring into space. Get involved and be in love. Yes, you got told and you got showed that you are the problem. Yes, yes. And by the way, again, make sure you're following my wife. And I do have package deals. If you're like, yeah, that one deal you're talking about is cool, but I want to work with you and have a breakthrough, I also have package deals going on right now. Okay, so you got told and you got showed that you're the problem. Why is that not true? Ask yourself internally. This is an exercise to develop your intuition and to hear that you have all the positive answers and you have all the motivation inside of you. And other people in your life know this about you, but they don't want to lose you, almost like they have a secret diamond and they don't want to lose you because they're showing you that they don't want to work on themselves. Prove to me that it's not true. Prove to me that you're not the problem. Internally, why am I not the problem? And let me know if you're blown away by the fact that you actually hear answers right now when you do this. That's what's up, Marie. Are you actually starting to be like, whoa, there's an actual answer when I do this? It's my birthday. Well, that sucks that happened to your twin. And I hope that this is the best year that you have yet. And I hope that you're really able to grieve and to release it and know that our loved ones don't want for us to hang on to that. Surely ask yourself why you don't trust yourself. And ask yourself why you don't want to hear the answer, and take your time and slow down. Why is it not true when it comes to me being part of the problem? Somebody told me, I don't talk about my clients. There's not really a point in that conversation. I work with people from all different walks of life. I work with people from all different age groups, but I don't, just out of respect, I don't share personal details about clients. But thank you for your interest. But I'd love to connect with you if you're interested. But in the same way that you want your privacy respected. You know, I respect other people's privacy. Okay, so you got told and you got shown that you are the problem. Why is that not true? So, Christina, why are you not the problem? I am are two of the most powerful words. So go back to the part that says I am the problem. Say, I don't believe you. Why am I not the problem? Taylor, I hear you. Now go back and say, I don't believe you. Why am I not the problem? Reframe it. How do you heal a father wound as a woman? You start asking yourself what's going right in your life instead of focusing on what's going wrong. You start off with 3 seconds, you slow down and pause. And again, that's in my bio link, The Science of Manifesting. It's the science of it. It's not some airy-fairy spiritual nonsense. You have to work privately. That's what I do. It's always one-on-one. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we can do it on Zoom. And if you don't want to do it on Zoom, I can call you from my Google Voice number. We can talk over the phone. I totally respect your privacy. And I'm taking notes and I give you a full report. How do I get your class? Lily, you're going to tap where you see my picture, and then you're going to tap my profile link, and you're going to see The Science of Manifesting. Just pick a random date. It's not us talking together. You're actually choosing a date, and it can just be a random date and time. You're choosing a date to be accountable to say, I'm going to start watching this. And I'm going to start going for it. Hey, thank you for that gift, Coach Tim. I'm learning to take care of myself before anything else. Amazing.
Let them know that the date that they're picking is the day they're getting the email to check in if they have completed the class or not. If not, a gentle reminder for all our neurodivergents out there to do it again, just so that way they do the work.
And you see why I married her? Come on, quit playing games. So what she's saying is that you're instantly after you book this, you're going to get an email. It's going to have all 5 PDF files. You're going to have the link to the video. But if you're still in the space of, yeah, I'm totally going to do this, and then you're self-sabotaging, guess what? Dad, brother, however you want to frame me, just family, your intense cousin is going to be accountable and love you and say, hey, you're amazing, and I know that there's a lot going on. This is powerful for you, and I want for you to get it. And what I'm doing is teaching you how to coach yourself. Hey, that's what's up, Polygal. Nice to see you. Okay, so you communicate with other people and it still feels the same. Yes, is this showing up in your life? Drop an emoji or say yes. You're setting boundaries. You're telling people to get lost. You're noticing your kids are arguing. It's still the same, right? How to life coach yourself. Yes, so go internally. Now that you're aware of this, I am frustrated that I communicate with people and it feels like it never changes. Why am I not the problem? Mind, tell me why I am not the problem. Like, command your mind to tell you, because your mind is a computer, it's an algorithm. Mind, tell me why I am not the problem. You swear no matter what, people struggle? I remember when I thought that too. The reason why you think other people struggle is because you believe that you're struggling because you saw one of your parents struggling and you took that on as a belief and it's created an identity. You don't have to struggle. Struggle is a perspective. Struggle is just a word that exists in the dictionary. Struggle means that life is meant to be easy. If you think that you're struggling, that implies that you actually think that you're supposed to know the meaning of life. And that's why it's constantly hard and challenging for you. And most likely the reason why you think that life is a struggle and everybody's struggling is because you have a neglect wound, most likely from your father. And it's not true. You can't prove it. You can't prove that people are struggling. And you know why you can't prove people are struggling? And you know that you can take this energy and this perspective and shift your mindset and actually start changing your whole entire existence, because every single thing in your life that is challenging is building your character. Every single person that you idolize and look up to had struggles and challenges and difficult times before they started winning. Steve Harvey was living in a car. He popped off at 40 years old. There's a woman in Japan who's like a legendary international DJ. She started DJing at like 70 or 80 years old. You can keep on proving that you're a victim, and I'm not going to allow you in the universe that I live in. Maybe you're in a parallel universe where life is hard and you have to be a victim and always have to struggle. I get that. In my 20s, I loved that. Nobody had it harder than me. And then I started asking myself, why do I always get offended when I see people winning? Why do I always judge people who are successful? Why do I always judge people who look a certain way and have a certain thing that I want? Why am I such a bitter, cranky old grandpa at 20 years old? Love all the answers. Where can you learn? So Abdel, when you tap my photo, when you see where it says, Yo, Nikki Scorpio, my link tree has all the different package deals. And if you just want to start off with a basic plan, I have a package that I'm promoting that we just uploaded yesterday. That's going to be the science of manifesting. So it's you learning how to coach yourself. And if you like this conversation and this is bringing up a lot for you and you're like, I want to do a customized one-on-one life coaching conversation, learning about emotional intelligence and the 5 principles of emotional intelligence, learning how to build and activate your self-awareness, which you already have, but to expand on that, learning how to regulate yourself, that's where it shifts, because you have the awareness, but you don't know how to deep breathe in conversations, how to use affirmations in the real way that they never talk about, how to be able to interpret information from a different lens. Step number 3 is you get motivation. What's my motive in this moment? When I put my head down, when I judge other people, when I get irritated, what's motivating me to do that? Step number 4 is empathy for yourself and for others. Step number 5 is active listening. Okay, so you communicate with others and it still feels the same. Prove to me that you're not the problem. Now, let me ask you this. Can you identify an argument or a disagreement right now where it involved you communicating? Is your tone of voice centered and confident in this existence, in this memory? Is your tone of voice confident and centered? Think of something recently in the past year. Was your tone of voice confident and centered? No. Huge awareness, good accountability, Marie. Were you listening actively beyond needing the other person to agree? Most people who are stuck in their trauma, who are never going to progress, have to say yes to every single one to compete in battle and prove that they're spiritually enlightened. And that's why you keep on hitting that glass ceiling, because the awakening journey needs for you to really be honest and really take a look to say, I'm not in trouble when I say that I'm insecure. I'm not in trouble when I have blind spots. I'm not in trouble when I'm embarrassed. I'm not in trouble when I overreact. I'm not in trouble when I've had addiction and chaos. I'm not in trouble when I've been perfectly presented and I'm figuring out how to show emotions. I'm not ashamed. I'm not guilty. I'm understanding. I'm learning. That was my training. Imagine in a world of 8 billion people, do you think that there's a million people that feel the way that you feel? Insecure and unappreciated? Like, wouldn't that actually give you permission to start being a leader and to lead yourself and to figure out your story? No, nobody feels like you. You're a victim. Okay. My boss has yelled at me several times. What shall I do? I try my best to communicate with her. GeoCat, part of the program that I'm releasing this evening, that I'm promoting right now, that's in my bio link, and you can get it while we're having this conversation. There's a worksheet that teaches you how to have difficult conversations. And you are actually going to learn everything that I'm teaching you. This is the difference between anything you've seen around self-help, therapy, and all these other conversations that can be beneficial. And what we're talking about, which is emotional intelligence, is I'm actually asking you questions for you to find the solution, for you to find your way, for you to strengthen your belief, for you to activate your intuition even more, and for you to start enjoying your life because you're not selfish, you're self-aware. Is a car greedy or cocky, or does a car think it's better than a horse because it drives faster? Is a car selfish? Is a car a narcissist because it's faster than a horse? What do you do to not leave the world? Listen to that quiet voice. It keeps on telling you that it's going to get better, even though you don't always believe it. It doesn't think at all, but it's a car. It's a car. Does a CEO need to explain to somebody? Like, imagine that you're a boss, right? Imagine that you're a CEO. Imagine that somebody walks into your office, that walks into your business, and you have a beautiful home. You're very balanced in your life. You have a healthy community. You have a healthy work balanced flow. So you're able to travel, to help other people out, like everything that you've always wanted. And then somebody gets around you and says, you're not the CEO of this company. And you've already made it, and you already know what you're capable of. You have accolades, you have trophies, like you've won, and you have balance. You have people who respect you, like that inner child is dancing on the table because you finally made it. Are you going to battle with this person and explain that you're a CEO, or are you just the CEO? What if I feel like it won't get better? Tell that voice that you don't believe it. Tell that voice that you don't believe it, and it doesn't need to keep you protected anymore, and you don't believe it, and it's time for it to leave now because you love yourself. Even when you don't believe it, are you angry with the inner voice? Are you tired? Like, here, for example, B-Dub, I love you and I appreciate you, and I get that you're looking for community right now. So if I came into your life, like imagine you didn't know me. If I came into your life and I was talking to you the way that you were talking to yourself, would you have a conversation with me, or would you just walk the other way and say get lost? You're an asshole, and like walk away from that? I don't believe you. I love myself. Even when I don't know where I'm going, I love myself. Okay, you'd have a conversation, but would you want to be best friends with me every single day if I'm like, hey, B-Dub, you're a jerk and you're not doing the right thing. And even though B-Dub, nobody knows what they're doing, nobody knows the meaning of life, nobody can prove it, and everybody's telling you how to do it their way, but nobody's taking the time to get to know you. And I'm just going to, every single day, I'm just going to knock on your door. Hey, thank you. Shout out to Tim for getting that Science of Manifesting class, $25. I'm giving you everything I got. Would you want every single day? All right, cool. Thanks, Nikki, for attacking my character and insulting me and just like questioning my integrity. See you tomorrow. Does 12 o'clock work for you? Or would you say, get lost? You're a jerk. Thank you, Brendan. I appreciate you. Do you get where I'm going with this? One of the main things that I have in these 5 PDF files is I teach you how to talk back to the negative. I don't believe you. So B-Dub, Brendan, right now, ask yourself right now, If you think that you don't have any worth or value, how come right now you're learning about your mental health and you're in front of 180 people and every single person in here respects you? Because real people know what it's like to question their existence. And see what you hear. Warwick, I don't go live every single day. I'm just promoting this right now. My wife and kids are going to go on a family trip for a few days, and I just uploaded this, so I'm very excited about it. Don't worry about it, J-Dub. Don't worry about it. Ask yourself right now, if you think that you don't have value, how come you're valuing yourself by being on a live stream talking about mental health? And this proves that I actually do have value. Like, talk back to the fear. What do you hear? Who's trying this? Who actually hears the response? You got to believe it. Like, imagine that negative voice as a stranger walking down the street. You're stupid. You don't know what you're doing. And imagine that this person is following. Get lost. I don't believe you. People who love me don't talk to me this way. I love myself. Even when I don't know what I'm doing, I love myself. I declare it. I don't care if I feel alone. I still love myself. I don't care that everybody in my life has told me I'm a disappointment. I still love myself. I don't care if my parents have put blame and shame and guilt onto me. I still love myself. I don't care if I'm ashamed because I did something terrible because I learned it from toxic parents who didn't do the work that I'm doing. I still love myself. I don't care if part of me is questioning my entire existence. I choose life. I love myself. How dare I put myself down? Every day I'm getting better, even when I don't believe it. I'm recharging my batteries. If I'm depressed, like Jim Carrey said, I need a deep rest. How dare I speak to myself that way? And it's not believable, and then it becomes believable. Remember when you were a baby? How do you think you're walking now? Communication is hard. I'm an empath. I feel sorry for her, but enough is enough. There you go. There you go. And I can learn in your language when you use the word but that you're actually, the balance that you're giving more attention to is enough is enough. Good for you. Listen to yourself when you talk. That's a big note. Listen to yourself when you talk. What does that mean? It means literally after you are done saying your sentence, review what you just said and where it took you. Is it a dead-end road or is it a two-way street to the airport, to the spa, to wherever you want to go? Listen to yourself when you talk, baby. Listen to yourself when you talk. Okay? So, when you had that difficult conversation, when you're speaking with people, is your voice centered? Or are you speaking from a space where every time I go to talk about something that's uncomfortable or something that I want to do that's intuitive, that I talk this way? Put it in the comment section. What am I really doing when I'm speaking this way? And I'm not judging you because I used to do this too. What am I actually subconsciously telling you about my communication? And when it comes to my intuition and when I want to do something that maybe might be weird? Yes, high pitched and shaky. What am I saying? What am I actually saying subconsciously? Creating doubt, Nadia. Yes, creating doubt. Is it okay? Can I inhale and exhale? Yes, Cassie, I'm unsure. How do I set up a consult? I have a package deal right now that's buy one, get one free. That's after the science of manifesting. But what I would say, because you're able to take a look at all the different options while we're having this conversation right now, you can just focus on the audio. You'll notice when you hit my bio link, my link tree, you'll notice that everything's categorized. It starts off with specials and then it goes from there. I have package deals. If you have a lot to unpack, you're just going to choose the first date. So this is what I teach you. Like if you're working with me, I can point this out and help you work through it. If you, for example, are constantly saying, I can identify that your intuition has been blocked because you were shamed for knowing and that you're subconsciously going to the space of, is this right? There's a balance. Like sometimes people just say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Or, hey, blah, 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 But when people are constantly, hey, so anyway, I was doing this, and I was talking with this person, and da da da. That's where I can tell that that person has a resentment wounds. There's little things. In the same way, if you really want to learn how to read people and read yourself and really boss up and stop wasting your time, like, have you noticed in your life that you saw somebody who was potentially attractive or had an opportunity, and then you realized that they were a fraud or that they were manipulating or that they weren't actively listening to you? Drop a comment or put an emoji. Absolutely, Maria, I get that. Welcome that child back. So this is where I want to share a story with you for those of you that are saying yes. This is a quick story. When I was in New York, I got introduced to somebody who was a music executive. My, at the time, manager introduced me to them. Because I've learned, and I teach you how to do this, how to actually be open-hearted and be vulnerable and then read people. I noticed in the middle of the conversation, because emotional intelligence helps you categorize conversations. People are talking about things that you can tell when you actively listen that this is something that's important. And you'll start to notice within your world, within yourself and other people, when people are talking about things that are meaningful to them, some people like the conversation, some people don't. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's not good, it's not bad, it's awareness. So one of the things that I've learned how to do as a boss move, to turn the tables, to get CEOs trembling in their boots, to get narcissistic people aware of the fact that I know my story and my value, is I find a way in networking how to tell people why I am doing what I'm doing, which stems from all the trauma, abuse, and neglect that I experienced. And because I know I'm not a victim, I frame it in a way where I can end it on a note of, I've realized that millions of people feel unloved and unappreciated and unwanted. So what I do is blah, 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 blah. And I noticed in the middle of this conversation that the person I was talking to picked up their iPhone and started doing a FaceTime call and told me that he was still listening, but he just needed to make this call. Now, I've been in the entertainment industry. I've been around executives like this. I know exactly what's going on. It's subconsciously a power move, and they're factually. Drop a comment or emoji and let me know. Do you actually see, do you have context for what I'm saying now? Categorically, I was talking about something that was important, and they factually showed me that they weren't interested. Do you get that? Do you get that? So good. So some people might go, oh God, I need to fawn. Oh, that's okay that you're talking with somebody else. I want to share something with you that changed my life. When you actually call out this stuff, your body will actually become healthier. Your intuition and your abilities, all people on planet Earth have the ability to be intuitive. Everything within you will start activating and lighting up. You are creating a positive ripple. Every single time that I've walked away from narcissistic people because I knew my worth in that moment, and that's what I did to say, hey, you're showing me that this phone call is more important than us having a conversation. I've never done business with anybody in my life and been able to have an active FaceTime phone call and hear somebody talking at the same time. So let's not waste each other's time. Enjoy your call. And I'm going to enjoy my day. Thank you. I appreciate your time. And I'm sure you appreciate mine. And I move forward. And in my language, I set boundaries. I speak it into existence. I tell them where we're going, and I don't ask permission in that space. And that's not me being cocky or conceited. It's saying I'm not going to be disrespected. Right? So this is where, if you're interested in this conversation, what I'm saying is I have 5 different, hey, James, thank you for getting that. The science of manifesting. It's not the cheesy nonsense. Okay? What I'm giving you is how to learn and how to live with intention. I'm going to teach you how to scientifically change your emotional response. Who here has a parent who's frustrating them? Who here has a relationship that's frustrating them? Okay? So the next time you get around them and you tell them what you're doing and you realize that they're categorically not interested in what you're talking about, right? Like you're like, hey, oh my goodness, guess what just happened? I got a raise today at work. Or like, oh, my kid just did something and it was so sweet. Or I'm going on this vacation because like I want for my kids to go out into nature a little bit more. And even though I don't have money, like I'm going for it. And then you notice one of your parents says, well, what if this happens? And according to the boomer generation, you need to obey the establishment. Oh man. And so you so you take that deep breath, baby. I got you, Cassie. You take that deep breath. Relatable or what? You take that deep breath. You identify this person is projecting fear. The old you would say, oh, but mom, come on. You know the kids deserve it. Or mom, like, what are you talking about? Do you know how hard I'm working? And then you realize I don't need to have this conversation. It's pointless. Do you see how subtle that shift is? Do you see how quick that happens? Do you get that? All the bad things that mom can't even prove in that conversation. How can I deal with someone on Instagram who I really love that doesn't respond back? You say, thank God that that person's showing me the truth that they're not interested. I'm so grateful that I'm building my awareness. Better people are coming. They're on the way. I'm so grateful. What do I need to know within myself right now that I was expecting from that other person? What do I need to know within myself right now that I was expecting from that other person? And you can even do research on how to have conversation, follow-up conversations to just call it the F out and just say, hey, yo, like I'm noticing that I just talked with you and you're not responding. My mind went to a specific place. So I don't want to bother you and waste your time. And thank you. I look forward to your response. And again, if you don't want to respond, that's perfectly fine. But thank you for your consideration, or thank you for appreciating that. Or you can do research. But you learn the truth, you move forward. It's a mindset shift. Do you see how that makes life a little bit lighter? Do you get that? Do you see how there's two different paths? Like Robert Frost said, you take the one less traveled by. Do you get that? The advice, if you've lost a dad from addiction and you're noticing that is just a simple thing. Bradley, a simple thing that you can do is just start to use affirmations of I'm getting better at confrontation. I am getting better at confronting my wounds. My emotions are teaching me lessons. And I am not my dad's story. I am not my mother's emotions. I am Bradley. I am in charge for my reactions and responses. I can now choose any perspective I want to about anything as long as I believe it. What do I tell myself when I feel rejection before I even meet someone? I'm aware that rejection is a thing that's confronting in my life. So if this person rejects me, I'm going to have a perspective and a mindset of, as soon as I can identify, or I can even call it out. Like, ask my wife who's on this live stream right now how we communicated when we first met. This is really important for me. This is what I've experienced. How do you feel about that? And the more that you're able to really read people's body languages. Like when I was living in Hollywood, when I was being at A-list, B-list, C-list parties, I would tell people that I'm interested in mental health and spirituality. One person would lean in, some weird other person was like, give me your energy, blah, would cross their arms and would turn the other direction. And I would make note of that. And I would tell, in that toxic relationship I was in, I would make a note of that because she had narcissistic tendencies, but we don't shame people with narcissistic tendencies because they can't help it. It's their brain. It's how their brain's wired. It's what they've learned and experienced. But they would try to talk with her and have a conversation with her. And I would just say, hey, factually, you were just talking about something that was important and this person just changed the conversation. Well, what are you saying? I'm saying do whatever you want to. You make money. There's no emotions in business. I personally wouldn't share anything personal with them. And there's subtle ways you can do that. Or you can say, hey, I noticed when I spoke about mental health, I noticed that you just crossed your arms. Did anybody ever shame you for talking about mental health? Or what's the story that's showing up? I mean, you can do that in a quiet space. You can just like bring it to their attention. Or if they're being toxic, if they're being very like confrontational and you're in a group setting and they're trying to embarrass you, you own yourself. If every single person, like, let me break this down because I'm going to hop off in just a minute here. The reason why you're frustrated by, please let me know if this makes sense because this could change everything in your life. The reason why you are frustrated that people reject you is because dad rejected you or mom rejected you. But that's the lie that society teaches you, that family teaches you. What if dad was scared? What if dad was scared? And by the way, somebody in here has a frustration and anger and it's in your throat. Talk back to it, tell the anger it's safe, and ask it what it needs. That's why you're swallowing or coughing or clearing your throat right now. Not everybody, but you know who you are because you feel it, right? What I want for you to get is that if you woke up and you had amnesia and you forgot that you were supposed to have a dad who was always happy and approved of you, that you were supposed to have a mom who was really pretty and just like, oh, you're so nurturing and loving and kind, and you every single summer you went on vacation, and that you had siblings and everybody was like, hi, good morning. Oh, let's all hug and let's just all celebrate each other. Like, if that lie that was put onto everybody since the beginning of civilization didn't exist in your life, you wouldn't be fazed. They showed you they're not interested. So what? Are you interesting? This is one of the fundamentals of emotional intelligence. Like, are you aware that you're interesting? Are you aware, even if you're an introvert, if you're into playing video games, are you aware that you enjoy playing video games? If you're a mom and you love being a mom, if you're an engineer and you're fascinated by engineering, like, do you get that you enjoy what you're doing? This gives you permission to actually face rejection and turn your life into a game. It, like Marie said, they're just not your people. But when I'm by myself, I'll eat myself up. Yeah, well, there you go. Confront yourself. You're accountable for yourself. I don't like myself. Other people validate me. If I don't like myself, how do I actually stand a chance to get people who love themselves and love me in return? How do you deal with being alienated from your kids by a narcissist? First, you just really lovingly agitate all of that anger instead of resisting it. Consider stop telling people that you're fine if they ask how you're doing. You can have an accountable response. You could just say you're fine. You could not respond. One that I go to because I practiced and I have a worksheet in this when I'm promoting of how to have difficult conversations. When I was in the abusive relationship and when I was getting out, one of my main responses when I was sad, when I was angry, when I had social anxiety, is I would say, hey, thank you so much for asking. I'm just deep breathing and working through something right now. Or I'm deep breathing, loving myself more, staying away from miserable people. How about you? Direct eye contact and they would laugh. And just like that, it would shift their mindset. And what I would say is, the last part is, this is where when I have clients who work with me who have legal situations that are really challenging, part of this, like my wife who's in here, who's dealt with that kind of situation, and there's even specials if you want to work with the two of us or if you want to connect with her. But what I'll say is this. What I've learned, and I would love for somebody else to put an emoji or comment or to say yes, when you actually go through challenging times and you rise to the occasion by learning, by growing, by doing research, by not reacting with their anger, by not matching their mood, by getting into a space of gratitude, by really going, I'm going for it, seeing yourself having that outcome and connecting with it, that has a ripple effect in your life because you met all of that with confidence and with love, even when it was messy. You get more prosperity, you get better results. You get more blessings down the road simply because you navigated through it and you didn't match their energy. I'm not the only one. Okay? So, again, in summary, because I'm about to hop off, there are 5 PDF files. There's a 28-minute video. This is $25. Other life coaches never give you the solution. Therapists, as you know, therapists are amazing. Therapists don't give you the solution. It's constantly checking with your feelings. Yes, there's different forms of therapy, but often it's just talk about your feelings, talk about your feelings, talk about your feelings. I'm saying talk about your feelings, but perhaps you already know how you feel. The question is, how do you change your emotional response? And most people don't teach this to you. I've done research on science, on neuroscience, on human design, on how humans are actually created, on provable stuff that's undeniable, not spiritual theories, because not everybody is spiritual in this family, which, by the way, that's fantastic. Because I have spiritual confidence, so I don't need for you to believe the way that I do. Welcome to the party. We can be kids again and stop finding division. You can change, and I teach you how to do this so you can teach yourself and you make it believable. Do you get what I'm saying? So one example, I'm walking down the streets in New York. Social anxiety shows up. Why? Because social anxiety teaches you there's an expectation that you need to meet because somebody told you that you don't deserve to be seen or don't deserve to be heard. So if you're having vulnerable thoughts, your brain's job is to protect you. It doesn't logically make sense when you call it out. And so what I started to do is every single time that social anxiety would show up, not wanting to be seen, not wanting for people to look at me, is I would actually stop and internally have the awareness, take a deep breath and say, what if you were actually in a movie and this movie was where your plot twisted and everybody in this movie knew that you were going to win and all that you had to do is be yourself? Do you see the shift? Do you see that? Do you get that? Is that a possibility for you? It's a good one. Thank you. Do you get that? The narrative changes. The narrative changes. And do you also get how that creates a different ripple? It's amazing. What I'm getting at and why I'm promoting this is because there's little things that you give way too much attention to, and that paints the bigger picture. And this is where you can actually learn from your trauma. What I'm teaching you, my baseline, my existence, what I've discovered from all of my trauma, from the work that I've done, my purpose in life is to get you to understand that there is a way that you can tell your story so everything that hurt you has healed you. Everything that is painful is purposeful. And there are people in this world who get it. And if you don't believe it in your life, look at me. I found people digitally. So, again, last part of this is, and it's $25. Normally, I charge $125 for 1 hour. If you like this conversation, like that's not what I want, also tap my bio link and you can listen to my voice while you're looking at all the different options. Just see where the picture is, tap that. Okay, so 5 different PDF files. Living with intention. Learn how to scientifically, factually connect with the emotions and having everything you want. Learning how to let go of the middle ground. Building on your intention, creating a mindset shift. You are creating images. You are remembering memories. You're convincing your brain this experience that we have already felt, that emotionally felt good, is connected to this experience that feels anxious or feels stressful. And it requires practice. But guess what? Then you never have to feel that way ever again. And the last part of the living with intention is being able to change your emotional response to align with your goals. The second PDF file is mind-body connection. Discover how your body and mind listen to you more than you realize. So, for example, right now, if you're feeling anxious, ask yourself, hey, anxiety, where are you physically in my body? Polygal, ask yourself right now, where is this stress physically showing up in my body? What do you hear? What I would say if you want to ask a question is book time with me because I'm about to hop off and I'd love to focus with you. And that way we can exchange time, value, and energy. And that way, like, you can really get it and I can give you that full report. Heart, my mind. Okay, so thank that part of your body and let that part of your body know that it's not that body part's job anymore. Thank you, mind. Thank you, heart. Thank you, chest. That's not your job anymore. Because we don't factually, we no longer need to meet anybody's expectation. When we don't, you can even nod right now while I'm saying this. When we don't meet people's expectations, we learn lessons. And when we learn the lesson, we meet our expectation. And then we can play and have fun because we're building our confidence now. We're no longer in trouble anxiety. Thank you. Talk to it. It is the top option. Yes, J-Dub. Talk to it. Talk back to it. What do you need to hear, body part? What do you need to hear, shoulder? What do you need to hear or say, heart? What do you need to hear or say, stomach? What do you need to hear or say? There's nothing to be afraid of. Thank you, mind. Can you show me? Generate that feeling in my body. Generate that feeling physically in my body. Thank you, emotions. Thank you. Generate that physically in my body. Okay. The third one is, so mind-body connection. Discover how your body and mind listen to you more than you realize. Shift your emotional state and recognize your inherent power. Align your physical and mental state with your desired intentions. What's up, Ahek? Nice to see you. Number 3, purposeful living. Live more in your purpose with direct internal and external communication. So, for example, like I did earlier, I want to try this one more time. Ask yourself right now, how exciting does it feel to know right now on this live stream that I am loved as I am, that I am lovable? How exciting does it feel to know that I am lovable because I am loved on this live stream as I am? He won't talk, then talk to yourself. Stop giving away your power and being frustrated that somebody's showing you they're not interested in you, and meet them where they're at. They're an equal to you. Men don't have power over you. Do you get that? You hear what I'm saying? Men don't have power over you. And it can be really frustrating being seen in that space and get into a space of how dare you. That's the part that you hide. And it's righteous for you to be angry about the fact that you're feeling ignored. But you can redirect that energy. Very comforting. Good. How good does it feel, Ali? How good does it feel? How exciting, how deserved is it to know that I'm lovable even when I make mistakes? What's up, Jake? How exciting and how deserved does it feel to know that I'm lovable even when I make mistakes? Thank you, Emily, for getting that Science of Manifesting class. You can get it right now on this live stream while I'm talking. Oh, that feels good. Yes, you did it. You did it. And again, you can even practice connecting with that emotion and say, again, mind, emotions, show me, generate that physically in my body. Generate this feeling in my body. You need to feel deserving, or you want to feel deserving? Do you want to? Do you need to? Do you choose to? So, for example, Lee, tell yourself internally, you choose to feel deserving. You are safe to feel deserving. You choose to believe that there is value and feel deserving. And see if you can actually get it. Hey, thank you, Lionheart. And remember, Lionheart, when you're looking at these PDF files, you can even use the digital link, and you can set a reminder on your phone to say, remind me every day. And you can just put it, or you could say, set like on your calendar, for example, in the iPhone, you have a thing where you can push the button on the side with Siri and say, set an appointment every single day at like 8 a.m. or 12 p.m. And you could do multiple ones, and you could just, in the notes or whatever, you could just paste that link, and you can just go back to it and have those check-ins. Let me see what Lee said. I need to. I feel everyone else deserves a happy life, but I don't think I do. Because you need to. We're equals, and I used to do this a lot. What does need imply? It starts with a D. Kim, message me and let me know when you're going to be able to have that 25. Just send me a message while you're in the moment. What does need imply? It's not deserve. It's close. I need to. It's coming from a place of lack. I need to. Yes, you're demanding that yourself. What are you doing to yourself? What's up, Core? You're lacking. Yes. One of the most dangerous states that a human can be in. Mind-blowing. Desperation. It's not discipline. I hear you. I appreciate you. It's desperate. I need to. And here's why, leader to leader, equal to equal, I want to bring this to your attention. If you need to be loved, if you need to be seen, if you need to pay your bills, do you know every single option that's available for you? Do you? No. You don't know. You don't know. You don't need to do anything. We don't need to do anything. We don't even need to breathe. We choose to, baby. It is a privilege to be above ground, even when it doesn't always make sense. That's for me why I choose to go to spirituality. Like, I get some people in here have been spiritually shamed, religiously shamed, and brainwashed. My wife and I were watching the show The Chosen, and they're coming out with season 4 soon. We're watching The Chosen, and you can watch it free online. And it's giving you like the lighthearted, more authentic version of Jesus. And I watched that, and it's a good reminder to really get that whatever you believe in, whether that's science or Jesus, God, universe, Buddha, Allah, whatever, saints, angels, right? Because we're spiritually comfortable and confident in this family, right? Because nothing is provable, and it's just like we're children in a sandbox, and God loves unconditionally, especially for people who don't, right? And it's a good reminder to really get that vintage Gucci isn't going to get you VIP in heaven, right? Smiling when you're angry or sad inside is not going to get you approval and take you into paradise. It's really not going to. And in fact, if you believe in any kind of a higher power, it logically doesn't make sense to resist your anger and sadness. I mean, do you believe that you're made in the image of the Creator or not? You could actually change your whole perspective on spirituality and realize that your parents had no clue what they were talking about if you were religiously shamed. Like when I was before, let me give you context in the conversation of what we're talking about. I want to stay on here, but I also drank a lot of water today, and I kind of got to go to the bathroom, and I want to be a good dad and a father, so I'm going to find the balance within this. So thank you for your patience. Okay, so let's say that I grew up, let's say, speaking of vulnerability, let's say that I grew up in a household where I was religiously shamed. Nikki, don't do that. You better do the dishes and eat your vegetables or Jesus is going to strike you with lightning. And I'm like, but Paul, that doesn't seem right. And he's like, shut up, be a man, be a robot, and don't talk about your feelings, right? Then I grow up, I get older. J-Dubs knows the vibes, okay? So I grow up, I get older. And I realize, like, after I do research, I look at this book of stories and I'm like, wait a second. Jesus was talking about right there, not to promote him, not to talk about him, but to be like him. He was constantly saying that you could embody this. You could be Christ-like, that we all have the access to this. And then I do more research and I'm like, wait a second. Jesus said that he hung out with all of the outcasts and all of the weird people. And so And the more that I do research and the more that I get into theology and the more that I do research, I'm like, wait a second. My mom, this is what I want for you to get, because you can convert this conversation into anything if you have toxic parents. And this is one of the fundamentals of emotional intelligence that can actually change your beliefs, change your confidence. And in science, they call this creating new neural pathways. So I really want for you to get this, right? So I can actually, and I started doing this in different aspects of my life. You're creating proof. One of the first things that we're doing in this program that we've launched is learning how to coach yourself, right? So one of the first things that you're doing is you're going on a journey to create proof, to create evidence, to really say, I want to know that I'm lovable. I have proof that I'm lovable. I've done other things. I just didn't really give attention to the fact that I was lovable. So if every single time that I'm having a conversation with somebody and they talk about God or Jesus, and I remember when my toxic father was like, you're going down below and you're going to perish. And I'm like, and I'm judging this person. I stop and I say, hold on. Let me review this old scenario. Let me actually review it. And let me really take a look at the fact. Hold on. I'm going to pause and I'm going to go do the human thing because I drank a lot of water. Give me like 30 seconds and just take some deep breaths because this is good. But I'm going to pause it. The screen's going to pause. So thank you for your patience. I got you. It's just right there. Nature's like, hello. And I was going to hop off, but my wife just texted me and was like, you could stay in a little bit later. It's okay. Here, am I back? Are you back? What are you talking about? I'm back. Okay. Are you here? Microphone check. Yes, yes. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so check this out. So in that context, and I want for whoever, if you have toxic parents, if you have somebody who's emotionally unavailable, giving the example of religious shame, like somebody really put a lot of fear onto you, and this deeper part of you is just like, man, this can't be it. This can't be. If there's a higher power, there can't be. I don't believe that a higher power, like I don't believe I'd be put onto a planet to be hated. That doesn't make sense. It says in the Bible that we're made in God's image. And when I look at this text, there's no asterisk. So that's just what it is. So if that's so, this is where I shifted everything in my mind and everything in my conversation. I can actually go back into this space and acknowledge that I have new information. And I can go back because, again, in science, they call this neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity in simple terms is you're able to change your belief. You're able to actually go back and review this, and this creates new neural pathways. Right? And so I can go back into one of those moments in my meditative space, and I can connect with this younger child and say, hey, you know how this person is shaming you, saying that there's something wrong with you? They also told you that you're not good enough, but we have new information. We just reread that book that they're always telling us about, and it says that we're made in God's image. So you can now feel your sadness and stop feeling so guilty. You can start feeling your anger and stop feeling so suppressed about it. You can do something with it, but you don't have to hide it or hurt people. The person who raised you was really afraid. The person who told you this information actually didn't have the courage that you have. And they didn't know how to raise you because they never were given a pamphlet or any kind of information about how to raise you. So it logically doesn't make sense, beautiful child, for you to carry this resentment. And then what happened when I started going into, and this is just a hypothetical scenario. Then, for example, you might hear, and let me know if this shows up for you when I'm having this conversation. But what about the other people who still do that? Does this show up for you? Call it out. Call it out. Does that still show up for you of like, but what about other people who use that as shame and attack people? Like my lesbian mother, like my gay father, right? Like the people who said that I'm an abomination and I'm sinful because I was created, right? So this is where emotional intelligence is amazing, because we realize a lot of times people are repeating what they were told. So in that space, what I've learned, because people's brains categorize information, this person goes into a space of, I feel powerless when I'm around you. You're reflecting my wound of religious and spiritual shame. I don't understand you. So when I didn't understand things, I want to get a mind blown emoji from somebody and really get that this could actually change your whole relationship to your parents and your whole relationship with spirituality. You don't have to think you could actually have peace. So any single time, like you've probably seen them on my live streams. So when somebody comes into the live stream and they're saying you need to repent, Jesus is the answer, you need to talk to God, this is wrong, all of that stuff. Men shouldn't talk about emotions. Emotional intelligence is for girls. Like I've seen that one before. Just a lot of that kind of conversation. I used to do the Scorpio sting, run circles around them and point out that they're a hypocrite and shut them down. I've now learned, and especially after I watched that show, The Chosen, I'm like, everybody wants love. Not everybody knows how to get it. Everybody wants help. Not everybody deserves in their mind to ask for it because somebody shamed them. Some people feel guilty about asking for help because they hear that voice in their head. So in these spaces, what I've learned how to do in my meditation and my practice, and this is, again, I'm sharing this in these PDF files, you can actually review. It might show up randomly, like you just might all of a sudden be walking down the street and it's Sunday and there's this dude who's got like the megaphone if you live in a big city and he's like, repent to Jesus, love God, and if you do not go into God and repent, that you will be attacked. And you're like, oh man, like I don't want to be bothered by this, but this is bringing up feelings of frustration for me. And the shift is you feel the irritation instead of resisting it. Then from there, because the smaller irritations, and please let me know if you get this, what I've realized about emotional intelligence and how you can actually lean into frustrations instead of resisting it and learn and grow and review. And this builds confidence. And you will not, in the next scenario, when you get around somebody like that, you won't emotionally respond in that way. And that creates the ripple and that builds momentum. And then you start to give attention and focus to purposeful things, to deserved things, to valuable things, to people who are actually serving a purpose in your life, instead of invalidating your power and self-sabotaging and judging somebody that's just looking to do something with good intention, right? So in that context, I can remind myself, anytime that somebody projects to me that I'm sinful, because if you really do the research on Jesus, you'll know, and it's not always promoted, and it was kind of edited out, that Jesus really talked about there's no such thing as sin. And Jesus, again, didn't tell you to go to church. Jesus said just, treat people how you want to be treated, like the golden rule, like love everybody and don't be hard on yourself, and just do the best that you can. And there's a lot of different ways that it's phrased. So if that wound shows up, we can go into a space of this person really wants to show me that they're aware. J-Dub, like I know, because we've talked about this before. So I know when those people come onto the live stream, and maybe you've seen them before, when they go, you need to get with God. The old me said, sting, 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 you're a hypocrite, you're miserable, you're frustrated. Jesus loves my lesbian mom and gay father, and I'm good, and stop projecting all of this and go into your small, miserable life and just like be frustrated about it. The new me understands this person has been told this and they're parroting, they're mirroring one of their parents, most likely their father. Because human beings, when we're children, want validation from mom and from dad. And we will repeat their behaviors, but we make it ours. We will repeat their communication style to look for validation. Most people aren't as aware as you are, and you're actually irritated because you're the leader. So instead of being frustrated by this person, I can actually, if they come up to me and tell me that I'm wrong, I can say, and Lindsay, thank you for that, because that's what I want to give people, that space of, yes, I have information. Yes, I have a way of taking complicated concepts and simplifying them and sharing them with people. I also want for people to get that there's equality, that nobody has power over you. So thank you for that. That means the world to me. So, and I believe one of my boundaries and baselines is transparency, because I always want for people to have the understanding of you don't need more to be confident. The more that you actually validate that you're good enough, that's where you actually build confidence. And this is a scientific understanding, right? So back to the conversation. So I can get around somebody who projects fear, guilt, and shame to me, and I can have the conversation of acknowledgement. I can really appreciate that they care, because that's what they're showing. Yes, you might be irritated, but drop a comment, let me know. Do you actually, no, there's no apologies. No, we're having a conversation. Do you get categorically, this is how emotional intelligence helps and shifts. Do you get categorically, even though this person in that hypothetical scenario might irritate you, that what they're saying is, I want love and attention, and I want to make sure that you're okay. But it doesn't translate that way. Do you get that? Is that a possibility? Huge awareness, Marissa. Do you get that as a possibility? Do you see that there's a possibility in that conversation? Yes. Okay. In their own way, they care. Beautiful. Okay. So what I can do in that kind of conversation is I can stop and say, I really appreciate how much you care about me and my well-being. I want to let you know that I'm okay and I'm good. And I have my own personal relationship with God. And I really appreciate, truly, I really get how much you care. I see that. It's been my experience from somebody who was really concerned about other people that often nobody really took care of me. So I really hope deep, you don't have to convince me. You don't have to prove it to me. But are you good? Are you okay? Because sometimes those of us that are really good at taking care of other people feel broken inside. And the reason why we're so focused on helping other people is because we actually want help but don't know how to get it. And it's okay to not be okay in this family. And if you're frustrated or sad, you can express it and you're safe. Nobody's judging you. And now your enemy is you, because your enemy is now your friend. And so now your enemy has become your friend. And because you love yourself and you have patience, you understand the person who's irritating you. Do you see how this can directly impact your life? You can do this with your parents. Your mom or your dad say, be afraid, when are you going to get married? Give me, need, desperation. And you go, I really appreciate how much you care. I really get that. I know as my parent, you want to make sure I'm happy. You want to make sure I'm okay. And I want to let you know that my choices aren't always going to make sense. Ooh, somebody could write this down right now. Somebody's directly going through this right now, and you could just write this down. I really get how concerned you are with my well-being. And some of my choices don't make sense to you. I'm learning, like this is a literal conversation I have with my mom. I'm learning that I have been so hard on myself for decades, constantly doubting myself, constantly needing validation. So one of the things that I've learned is that when I make mistakes, I learn from them. And when I learn from the mistakes, it builds my confidence. And when I build my confidence, I no longer repeat the mistakes. So you no longer need to be afraid when I share things with you. And also, if you're going to continue being afraid when I tell you things, that makes me feel like I can't trust you and like I can't communicate with you. And that frustrates me, and I don't want to feel that way between us. So it would really mean a lot to me, and I really thank you for understanding and appreciating moving forward that you no longer need to be afraid. And if you have that fear, that's no longer my responsibility, and there's no need to converse about it. Thank you for understanding that. I really do appreciate how you've taught me how to be myself. And you still have a purpose in this world. But you don't have to be afraid, because I know you just want for me to be happy. What would that do? Because some people aren't ready to have that conversation, and that's fine. One part of this journey is really having self-acceptance. Like somebody, I think it was Lindsay in here earlier, said, like, it's nice to see that you're growing. Most likely you saw me when I was getting out of the abusive relationship. So I was like, we're doing it. We're going for it. Nobody can stop us. But do you see how that could shift? Do you see how that could change the relationship? Does this ever get exhausting? No. You know what's exhausting? Hi, how are you doing? Fine. 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 Hi, how are you doing? Are you annoyed yet? That's exhausting. Hi, how are you doing? Fine. Isn't that so exhausting? I'm not desperate, and I'm not implying that you are. I'm not competing anymore. Because if you're in competition, what are you competing for? What's the end goal in your competition? If you're competing, you just want to know that you're loved. What's one flaw with you competing? If you're looking for love to prove that you're doing the right thing, what's the one ingredient? What's the one person that you're avoiding? Put it in the comment section. Tap that bio link. I'm giving you everything that I have for $25, and it's all organized. Yourself. You're not loving yourself. You're not loving yourself. My wife and I were talking about this earlier, because I'm like, man, I'm glad I came into your life, because there's so many people in her life who have invalidated her. And it's time to take some people off of the pedestal and to look at everybody in your life as you are a human and age is a number. And I don't care that you're older than me. If you're not respecting me and meeting me with love, I don't need to respect you. I respect you by stopping the enabling of your toxic behavior. You're not on the guest list. Negativity, negative voices come into my life. I say, hi, I acknowledge you. You're not on the guest list because we don't speak to ourselves this way. Are you teaching me something? Are you teaching me something? Or are you reminding me of where I'm not going? Because I love myself even when life doesn't make sense. If I temporarily feel uncomfortable, I'm long-term grateful. What's up, Rain? No, Raquelita, it's not a good or a bad thing. It's good. We love cans of worms because we can go fishing. You know, my thing is, it's a valid question. I'm acknowledging you. I'm acknowledging you. Look at what you do when you're open and trusting yourself. If anything, if there's anything like, geez, I didn't know it was such a big idea. Consider getting to the space of, wow, look at when I'm open and vulnerable in a healthy community. Look at how somebody acknowledges me. And isn't this a cool conversation? Like, isn't this a good conversation? It's good, right? Acknowledgement, which again is one of the things that I'm promoting in the package. And it's over 10 years of experience on my journey, how I actually got into life coaching. You're going to learn how to coach yourself. If you have always wanted to inspire people, motivate people, it starts with you. So if you're not totally in love with your story, like some people in this family are homeless, some people have $0 negative bank account balances, some people have big homes, some people are traveling the world right now, some people are business owners, some people are employees, some people are starting the business, some people are just artists, some people are moms and dads, some people live in trailers, some people want it all. Whoa, okay. So it's not about the stamp of approval from society. It's really not. It's really not. And I also want for you to consider, every single person that you look up to. The Tupacs, the John Lennons, the saints, the angels, whatever, whoever. There's always resistance from other people. I mean, even conceptually, because we can't even prove, we can hope. There's temples, there's places in Egypt, there's places where like, look, this is the robe that Jesus wore. We can have hypothesis about it. But Jesus comes down here and he's like, hey, love yourself. And they're like, get him, take him away. You've got followers like on social media. Come over here to our church. Hey, that guy that we just took away, come over here. This is what he really told us. We took over his TikTok account. Okay? Even Jesus, who was like, love everybody. They're like, you're stupid. Destroy him. Okay? So again, in summary, I'm announcing this. I'm gonna hop off here in a minute, and family's gonna go on a short vacation here. So I might go on live, no promises, but most likely I'm not gonna be on the live so I can do the dad and the husband thing. We have finally uploaded my life's work. Because sometimes people are like, dude, I can't, 125 an hour is a lot. I'm like, hey, I hear you. I don't need to be Jeff Bezos in order to be successful. Thank you. The movie is called The Chosen, and they have a website for it where you can watch the free episodes. Like Netflix, I think, has 1 or 2 seasons of it. But especially if you're somebody who once upon a time you were into spirituality and now there's like this kind of 50-50 journey, or you're just like, I don't want to live with this resentment and this frustration. It's a really well done series, and it's called The Chosen. It's really well done. And I connect with Jesus, and Jesus is very funny. He's very lighthearted. Like, he could do stand-up comedy. Like, the real essence energy of Jesus is very funny. Great protector too. Very funny. But this what I'm talking about right now, $25, and again, you are getting, I'm going to teach you, and you're going to get this. It's like how they say, teach a person to fish and they can fish for the rest of their life. There's PDF files. You can print them. You can download them. The best part about this, though, if you're like, I don't have a printer, use your phone. Use your phone. For example, you can take one of the best ones that I like out of all of this series. This is a secret sauce. This is what changed my life. This is what changed my life. This is the one. Out of all of those, because every single one of them has value, the best one, in my opinion, is when life doesn't go according to plan, you're actually going to learn the plan of how things didn't go according to plan. So, for example, when I was ending that toxic relationship, I started realizing I needed to have a response and a reaction for every single injustice, invalidation, insecurity, so that I could, because I started standing up for myself. And again, I also separately, I have another worksheet that teaches you, that asks you questions, that helps you practice having difficult conversations. So I was walking down the streets of Manhattan. There was a grandma and a grandpa having an argument, and he's yelling at her, and he's saying, give me my purse, give me my wallet, give me my wallet. And there's a woman to my left, their right, because we're facing each other. I just come from a doctor's checkup, and I'm looking over there. I didn't even realize, but there was like 20 people in a restaurant that were just doing the tacky social media, like grandma and grandpa going viral fight thing. And I'm just like, this isn't humane, right? And so I'm in this space, and I'm going to, as I'm walking up, I see what's going on, and the woman is just, grandma is just slamming grandpa with the purse. And I'm like, dang, like grandma is just like destroying this dude, right? Like, not that intense, but you know, like, it was very intense. And so I stopped and I took a deep breath, because I'm like, nobody, like, I've been in an abusive relationship, and nobody's stopping this. And so I took a deep breath and I slowed down and I said, I know you're annoyed with him. Give this man back his wallet. Maybe he needs to sleep on the couch. You know you love him. Now, all of a sudden, unexpectedly, the homeless woman who had some kind of mental health, I don't know if it was schizophrenia, I don't know what was going on, and I don't judge people. It was just the awareness of, there's now this person who is very close to me, and they're in my personal space, right? Which can be very confronting. So because I've practiced having difficult conversations, and I started going on this journey of, instead of me trying to be successful, I'm going to actually flip it and learn how to be comfortable in uncomfortable spaces. Because I started realizing it wasn't about success. It was about changing my perspective on success and learning how to navigate in feelings that felt unsuccessful, right? And so in that moment, she comes up to me, this woman, and she's talking very nonsensical, and she's like, they're after me, they're getting me, something along the lines of, like, I don't know if she was putting down the grandma and grandpa, but it was just very aggressive. And so I took a deep breath, and I made direct eye contact like I had practiced, and I acknowledged her, and I said, hey, I hear you. It sounds like this conversation is very important for you. This conversation has nothing to do with me. And in the same way, you don't like when people are in your personal space. That's where you and I are exactly the same. So I hear your concern. And again, it has nothing to do with me. Thank you for understanding that. And thank you for respecting my personal space. It really means a lot to me. And it was like she snapped out of it. And so Ties Only, I'm telling you, it's in my bio link. It's a top link, and you can listen to this and book it. And you're just gonna book a date and time. As soon as you get it, there's gonna be an email with all of the PDF files that I'm talking about. And then if you haven't gone into the work by that date and time, random date and time, whatever helps you, whatever, then there's gonna be a follow-up email, because I appreciate you and I want for you to get this because I know what it's done for me. Because I hated having confrontational conversations. I hated being vulnerable. I hated that. I never got the understanding of it. Like I never got the power of it. So when I had that conversation with that woman, she backed away. Then I took another deep breath to process what had just happened. Then from there, I looked back at grandma and grandpa. And I said it again. I know he's frustrating you. I know he's in the doghouse. There's probably a logical reason why you're mad at him. He can sleep on the couch. Or you can have a conversation. Give this man back his wallet. Because there's people that are watching. There's people in this restaurant right now that are recording you. Because I caught it. Just ridiculous. Humanity. What are you going to do with these kids, right? What are you, kids in adult costumes, kids with Birkin bags, kids with tailored suits, right? Just trying to go viral. Just kids. 30-year-old kids, 50-year-old kids, 70-year-old kids. Kids these days, right? And so, just a bunch of kids. And so she looks at me, gives me the, you know what it is, the energy scan, right? The up and down, right? The up and down, right? She gives me the up and down. And she looks back at him. And she looks at me and she stops him. She gives him back his wallet and life moved forward. Now, that's just one example of having a difficult conversation. Was it needed? Who knows? Is domestic violence something I've experienced? Was it an abusive situation? Yes. Should they have handled it differently? Yes. That's one example. And what happens in that space when you have difficult conversations, when you fear rejection, when you feel the uncomfortable feeling, when you feel there's nothing to do and I said what I said and I did what I did and I meant what I meant and I'm not asking for permission. I'm not hoping it's okay. I'm not walking on eggshells. I'm not dancing in a grenade minefield. I'm not doing all of that. I'm not wishing upon a star. I'm just telling you what's going on and I'm capable and I can problem solve. And if it's messy, I can talk about it and just learn from it instead of hoping and swallowing and denying my intuition, which is a very human thing. So if you do that, good news, there's hope for you. What I want for you to get is if you have a challenging time directly communicating, which again, there's a PDF file that's in there that teaches you how to do this in your own way. It's not my way. It's not my tone of voice, your voice. Consider, because life has been a battle, consider on the other side that there's a ripple effect. And maybe, just maybe, when you get into that new space, instead of thinking no one helps, they all want fame, to say perhaps the reason why I'm thinking everybody wants fame is because I don't feel seen, I don't feel heard, I don't feel good enough. And so because I don't feel good enough, I'm judging other people because I was judged. And it's not a bad thing, but it is an awareness. And when I have trauma, and I feel powerless, when somebody took advantage of me, personal boundaries that we don't normally talk about, everybody that I don't like reminds me of feeling powerless. Everybody. So this is where we get out of the space of I like how I'm feeling and I hate you for feeling this way that I don't understand, and get into the space of accountability, feeling my feelings, not feeling bad about feeling them. Stop judging other people. Stop thinking that everybody's attacking me. Stop thinking that everybody's against me, and get into a space of I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm removing what no longer serves, and I'm removing my mom's voice and my dad's voice, and really getting that I'm legally responsible for myself. Like, for example, if that conversation just brought up an anxiety for you or a frustration, that's the child who's taking the steering wheel. You as an adult can convince yourself, Nikki loves me and he's not attacking my character. And when people speak to us like this, we can actually take a deep breath and ask, is there truth in what he's saying? Just like that, you shifted your consciousness, you shifted your awareness, and see where that takes you. Okay? I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to hop off. Again, $25 for over 10 years of experience, 5 PDF files. You can have those private links. You can set appointments. You can set reminders. You can have that check-in. And it takes you 3 minutes to check in. It takes you 3 minutes to check in. It really does. And sometimes it's 30 seconds. And the more that you're able to use these PDF files and really check in, it's second nature. That's the best part of this. Hey, that's what's up, Silo. Thank you. Appreciate that. Good for you. Good for you confronting yourself. Amazing. Winners celebrate winners. All right. So if you like this energy, if you want an accountability coach, if you want a life coach, if you want a guardian, a parent, somebody to check in with you and to fall in love with your journey, you're the person that you're looking for. I'm teaching you how. You integrate it, you understand it for yourself, and you build your intuition. You can have more resilience. You can actually enjoy life instead of, I only like people who are struggling or suffering, or I only connect with people who are this way and this way. And when I get around these people, I hate them and judge them. And when people say this and this, I judge them. You are going to see all of that part of you where there's frustration and resentment and like lack of being able to ask for help or challenging with direct communication. You're going to realize that there was a reason why you learned that. But you don't have to be that way anymore. All right. So in 10, I love you. 9, love yourself. 8, unconditionally, without an asterisk. 7, do that more. It's 3 seconds. Track your thoughts. You're going into a new day. You're going into a new week. Take off your autopilot. Man, somebody in here I really hope that you connect with your anger. Don't you feel that in your throat? That's your anger. Stop swallowing it. Ask yourself, why am I resisting my anger? Thank you, Ali. Thank you for connecting. Looking forward to that. All right, so 7, pauses are for bosses. 6, nobody knows what they're doing. Everyone on earth, especially your family and especially society, is telling you to constantly change. Do you see the problem within this? If it irritates you, there's an insecurity and you can learn and grow, and this is exciting. When you're a leader and everybody's telling you to change, you can ask if there's truth in what they're saying. And you can also have the baseline of, I'm good enough and I love myself and I love to learn and grow. 5. It's a good one for 5. If you're really having a hard time slowing down, if you have a hard time enjoying what's in front of you, now that I'm a married man and a father, there's one thing that I want for you to consider. The reason why it's challenging for you to actually enjoy your life is because you really wanted validation from your father or from somebody who had masculine energy when you were a child. And I want to let you know that they were guilty and that they loved you, but they didn't have a roadmap like you do. And one of the ways that you can honor them is by taking a couple seconds to ask yourself what's going right. J-Dub, when you tap the PayPal link, you'll notice at the bottom that there's an option to use debit or credit, and you should be able to enter it there. Otherwise, Venmo is Nikki Scorpio, at Nikki Scorpio, and Cash App is $ Nikki Scorpio, but just message me if you have any issues. 4, if you live in a big city and you feel safe, if you like intuitively feel good about it, if the energy feels right, if you see somebody who's homeless, check in with yourself. I started doing this when I felt really lonely. I would see somebody who was homeless and I would tune in to say, is it safe? Is there something that do they want to be seen? Do they want to be heard? And it goes a long way to let people know that you see them, and to let people know that you honor them, to let people know that you love them. And there's a simple thing that you can do. You can just, this is a universal, like I learned this when I was working in Times Square when I was in New York. This is the universal, I see you, I love you. And you can even practice saying that, hey, I see you, I love you. You can even thank people for working. If you pick up that somebody's really hard on themselves, it's not about getting recognition when you say it. It's not about expecting for them to say thank you. It's just you're being empathetic and you're putting yourself in their shoes and remembering when you wanted that love. especially if you have social anxiety, when you show love to other people, your soul resonates with it. When you're looking for love, consider showing it to other people. Three, anybody who's ever put you down, anybody who ever invalidated your intuition, anybody who ever shamed you for being a specific way, I want for you to know that there was truth in you feeling frustrated. There was truth in you feeling invalidated. There was truth in your righteous frustration and your righteous anger, and you can revisit that. And again, the science of manifesting, how to coach yourself, the top link, I'm teaching you how, but for free. I will tell you, you were right. They didn't know how to communicate. So you don't have to take it personally. 2, forgiveness isn't for them. Forgiveness isn't saying I'm right and you're wrong. Forgiveness is saying, I don't know your story. I don't know your battle. I don't know your communication. I don't know your interpretation. Forgiveness is for you. And 1 is you. It's always been you. So the next time that you're hard on yourself, imagine somebody else that you love and respect is telling you the same thing. What would you tell them? Do that for yourself. And also, if you liked any of this conversation, you want to do a deep dive, emotional intelligence is being able to say, hey, this is what I'm aware of. This is frustrating me, or I'm really excited and I don't want to blow it. There's a way that you can learn how to reinterpret familiar patterns. And that's where we work together, and I take notes and give you that full report. And as you continue to book with me and work with me, I can give you a strategic action plan and homework. So you really, if you are tired of being tired, that's where we work together. I got package deals. Just book the first one. And I even have one right now where it's buy one, get one free. Other than that, I love you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. Stay alive. It gets better. The best advice I can give you is just keep on going. Just like that baby, learning how to walk. Take care. Good night. Good day. Be kind to yourself.